both with excellent defenses, offenses, speed, punching power, both undefeated, both with belts. It would be a unification fight. It almost never happens. Almost never. In a 50-50 fight.
Period. That is the fight everyone should want. That is the #1 desirable fight in all of combat sports. There is no other fight that anyone should want more.
They're meeting at a great time, and whoever wins this fight should be the supreme 154-pounder right now.
Is this a fight that you dare to say is a 50-50 fight?
Yeah, it gives a 50-50 fight. I give it more, it's 50-50 in a sense, but because of the experience, you can go 60-40, 60 with Boots, 40 with Xander, but it kind of is a 50-50 fight, yes.
Max Kellerman just shook up the boxing world with a bold take on the highly anticipated clash between Jaron Ennis and Xander Zayas. And it's not what most fans expected. While the hype has been all about Ennis's dominance, Kellerman isn't buying into the narrative. Instead, he's pointing to something far more dangerous. Zayas's razor-sharp precision, elite ring IQ, and calm under pressure composure. According to Kellerman, this isn't just a fight. It's a potential upset waiting to explode.
One thing to say, Boots is this future superstar. He beat this guy and that guy and that guy. Meantime, when you actually make the fights, and it's like, oh, he's really going to fight that guy? Is he going to win? Where are you with this?
Where I am, Max, is that I want to give a lot of credit to Xander Zayas. You know, Xander Zayas, young guy, he wanted this fight. He called for the fight, and he made it happen quick after the Virgil Ortiz-Boots fight fell apart. So fair play to Xander. He has a lot of confidence in himself, even though he's going to be the underdog. And you're right, Boots hasn't proven anything yet. Not his fault, but he hasn't fought anyone. He looks special. Now we're going to find out, is he...
Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back. He made it clear that Xander Zayas is no ordinary prospect. In his eyes, this is a special talent flying under the radar, someone who deserves the spotlight, the respect, and a true mega fight. And then comes the twist. Max Kellerman doubled down on the stakes, pointing out that Zayas isn't just asking for attention, he's daring to prove it. By stepping in against Jaron Boots Ennis, arguably the most dangerous name out there, Zayas is putting everything on the line. His title, his reputation, and his future. It's a high-risk move that could either crown him as boxing's next superstar or redefine his career forever.
His brother is special, and we need to recognize that, and he deserves to be seen, and he deserves...
Roy Jones Jr. added even more fuel to the growing buzz, describing Xander Zayas as a complete, highly versatile fighter who brings danger from every angle. He pointed to Zayas's rangy frame, his ability to control the fight both on the outside and in close, and his sharp, punishing body work that can break opponents down round by round. But what really stands out, according to Roy, is something you can't teach, his maturity. For a fighter so young, Zayas carries himself like a seasoned pro, making smart decisions under pressure and adapting in real time. In a division full of killers, Roy believes that kind of composure makes him one of the most well-rounded and one of the most difficult opponents anyone can face.
The thing about Xander, you're right, you got to give him props, is when you have a built-in fan base. In other words, it's not just that you're of a certain ethnic or national group, but you're undefeated. You've been groomed and promoted as maybe the future star that group's fan base will follow. You're risking a lot because you have a built-in economic engine behind you. And when you're a guy who can be put in a position to pick and choose, and you choose Boots, Gabe, what does that say?
Absolutely. This is a fight he definitely didn't have to take, man. You know, he's a 2-division champion right now. And for him to choose the toughest guy on paper right now, I mean, skill-wise, Boots, it's crazy. You know, it's crazy. He could have went a different route, but he chose...
Roy Jones Jr. dropped another surprising take. While fans have been clamoring for a Jaron Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz showdown, he believes there's an even more compelling fight on the table. According to Roy, a clash between Ennis and Xander Zayas might be the real sleeper, the kind of matchup that brings unexpected drama, high-level skill, and a storyline no one sees coming.
Xander Zayas is a very good fighter, a complete fighter, a fighter who I think presents next to the most, he probably the second most difficult guy to fight in the weight class because he's rangy. He can do so many things. He can fight inside. He can fight outside. He's a great body puncher. He's a very, very respected guy, and I think he's very mature for his age. Boots, on the other hand, is looking for that coming out party type fight. So he got to fight somebody at this point. And because he couldn't get A, he went to B. And I like that about Boots, because Boots saying, I want all the smoke. If this one won't take me, I'll go find the next one. And so, since he couldn't make the fight with Ortiz, he made the fight with Xander. This is what you want to see. This is a barn burner, I think. May the best man win, but both of these guys are capable of becoming the biggest threat to Fundora in the weight class, because right now, Fundora is still the king of the weight.
Trainer Robert Garcia added his voice to the conversation, praising Xander Zayas as a talented, confident young fighter who isn't afraid to take risks. He made it clear, stepping in against Jaron Boots, Ennis is a dangerous move for anyone, let alone someone this young. But that's exactly what impressed Garcia the most. Zayas isn't backing down. He's leaning into the challenge with belief and positivity. And in Garcia's view, that mindset alone could give him a very real shot at pulling off something big.
I really wanted to see Boots tested by another fighter beforehand. I wanted to see him fight Virgil Ortiz first, because
at 54.
Yes, because those two guys were kind of on a collision course. However, I think Golden Boy and Virgil Ortiz had some issues. So now Boots went to the next best thing, which is even better than Virgil Ortiz. He went to Xander.
On the flip side, not everyone is sold on the hype. Some experts have pointed out cracks in Xander Zayas' style that could prove costly at the highest level. There's a noticeable tendency to lean left when he attacks, an opening that leaves him vulnerable to sharp right-hand counters, something a precision puncher like Jaron Boots, Ennis could exploit all night. And while Zayas brings solid movement and high activity, critics argue he hasn't shown true elite knockout power. He's also been caught clean by opponents who don't carry nearly the same threat as Ennis, raising a serious question. If they can land, what happens when Boots does?
Boots versus Xander is a very good consolation prize to get if we're not getting Virgil versus either of them. What are your thoughts on that fight?
Look, it's a great fight, and Boots getting those challenges out there. Xander deciding to fight Boots on a very dangerous, challenging fight for himself. You know, you gotta respect, you know, that decision. You know, if the Virgil fight didn't happen, and then Virgil versus Boots is not happening, and Xander stepping in, you know, gotta respect that kid. You know, for being 23 and taking those challenges, you gotta respect that. You know, my pick, I would probably say, goes to Boots, because talent-wise, but you know, Xander's positive about himself, man. He sounds very confident. I talked to him, and he's very confident, very positive.
Jaron Boots, Ennis isn't just entering this fight. He's making a statement. Brimming with confidence ahead of the Xander Zayas showdown, Ennis boldly declared himself the biggest name at 154, promising to take over the entire division with a level of talent and excitement no one else can match. And in his mind, this isn't the main event. It's only the opening chapter. Ennis sees this fight as the launchpad for a new era of dominance at super welterweight, where he doesn't just win, he takes control.
All right, so you were saying you watched the tape of Xander Zayas,
Right.
and you kind of touched on that. You know, he gets himself in certain spots where he doesn't throw punches. Go ahead and elaborate.
So when he's in the middle, so when he's on the center line, he might throw punches, but there's no power behind him. And if he's sitting on his right hand, same thing. He throws punches, quick shots, but those aren't the really dangerous shots. When he's trying to exchange and he wants to hurt you, you'll see his head go off center to the left over and over again. So he peaks, sort of like, I remember Salvador Sanchez used to hit you with those Jones, but then he'll peek over. So he'll peek over, throw a quick right hand, or he'll peek over, and if you freeze, or if he catch the right look that he's looking for, he's shooting a left hook or left hand to the body or left hand to the head almost every time. You know what I mean? And he throws with weight and with power. That's what he does to try to hurt his opponents, right? But that gets him caught because that's his rhythm. Every time he was there against Sparmer was hitting him with short right hands and was just timing his move. Like whenever he would peek over here, that short right hand was coming almost every time, and Sparmer was catching him right on the chin with those. And then when he's pulling back out of that, he's catching him with hooks. So he was short right hands, left hooks almost all day. It's just that Sparmer was a smaller guy, couldn't really hurt him, but he was hitting him. And that's what I pay attention to, is like, Boots is fast enough and athletic enough to still catch you in those positions, but it's not like you're fighting a smaller guy. Boots can hurt you if you get caught clean like.
Veteran trainer coach Reggie issued a firm warning to Xander Zayas, acknowledging his clear talent, but stressing that he may still be too young and underexperienced for elite-level wars. While praising him as a strong prospect with real potential, Reggie cautioned that stepping up against top 10 opposition like Jaron Boots, Ennis right now could expose important gaps in his timing, development, and overall readiness. At the same time, he highlighted exactly why Boots is so dangerous. Ennis brings that rare mix of swag, speed, power, and solid defense, all sharpened by his Philly roots. As Reggie put it, even casual fans see the wow factor immediately. Boots has that explosiveness that grabs attention the moment he starts fighting. So the real question becomes unavoidable. Does Ennis's raw power and explosiveness overwhelm everything in front of him? Or can Zayas' skill, composure, and maturity create the perfect conditions for a shock upset?